This is breaking news from KNWA.
All right, good Tuesday morning. I'm Doug Warner. We're breaking into programming right now. I want to share with you a special report just minutes away from hearing from the ALMA, Arkansas Police Department, but they're making a major announcement, what they're calling a significant development in the kidnapping of Morgan Nick, a case dating back nearly 3 decades. If you're from the Arkansas area, you know all about it. For those perhaps not, there was, in fact, a documentary put out a year or so back. As you may know, Morgan went missing from a baseball field, a Little League field in ALMA back in 1995. All right, let's give you a look inside. This is where it's all going to take place. You see the podium all is set up to hear from the ALMA Police Department. It should start at 10:30 sharp. Just give you a little bit of a backstory on how we got here today. It's been 29 years plus in the making. 6-year-old Morgan was at a Little League baseball game with family at the ALMA Police or the baseball complex with her mother the evening of June 9th, 1995. And that's when Morgan went with 2 of her friends to catch fireflies in the parking lot next to that ballpark. We're told 2 friends later returned. However, Morgan did not. 6 years after her disappearance, police released a new sketch of a possible suspect. Fast forward then to 2010 when authorities got a tip about a home in Spiro, Oklahoma that may be connected to Morgan's abduction. In fact, they went there twice. They found no evidence. 2021, the FBI announced this man, Billy Jack Links, was a person of interest in the case. A Van Buren native he is, was arrested 2 months after Morgan Nick's disappearance after police say he tried to abduct a young girl from Van Buren at a Sonic about 10 miles away from Morgan was taken. Links was later sentenced to time in prison where he died, though, over 20 years ago, back in 2000. He also had a suspended sentence in 1992 when he was convicted of sexually abusing a young girl. All right, then we get to February of last year when a new documentary called Missing Morgan was released on Hulu. The 4-part documentary re-examined the case and potential links to her disappearance. All of this brings us to where we are today, where ALMA police set to, again, share with us what they are calling a significant development in this case. So we have team coverage on this today. Our very own Casey Smith right there just outside the police station where this is all about to develop. Casey, you're obviously seeing that room fill up pretty quick.
This is where all the news conferences started.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Doug. A room that's maybe 25 feet across. You have media outlets from our region, from across the state, and even some national, including the Associated Press. It's just packed to the brim, shoulder to shoulder in there, awaiting this significant update, as you mentioned. Just a really anticipated moment across the state of Arkansas. A lot of people still affected by this and still remember this case from 29 years ago. And the person that knows the most about this case right now as we speak is probably Morgan Nick's mother, who's been debriefed about this situation, and she's here at the ALMA Police Department today. Her and other members of the Morgan Nick Foundation are in attendance, in addition to, obviously, as I mentioned, the media personnel, as well as Arkansas State Police, and then, of course, ALMA Police with Chief Jeff Pointer giving that update here in the next few moments. Driving in this morning, it was a pretty somber scene just in the city of Alma. As you're driving up, it's kind of eerily quiet. There's no cars around. This was when I got here just a little bit after 9 a.m. this morning, pulling into the parking lot here. You step outside and you don't hear a thing. And it's a little bit sobering knowing kind of what's going on here today with this significant update and the severity of this case. But the big thing, the important thing is that hopefully at the result of this, Morgan Nick's mother, Colleen, has a little bit of closure about the current update with this case. Doug, let's go ahead and send things back to you.
All right, again, Casey is there. You know, and some things that have come up, one thing that even kind of came to the forefront in that documentary, again, we're just hopefully moments away from this news conference getting underway, was a truck that she was reportedly seen getting in. I know the documentary kind of explored, I don't know if you how knowledgeable you are of that documentary, it explored that some. In fact, we seem to have learned a little bit more about some of what was being investigated behind the scenes than we did direct from police department. Is that, do you get any sense of that will be discussed at all today?
That's potentially going to get discussed. The inklings, kind of from what I'm hearing, is that there could potentially be a suspect named in this case. That could be that significant update that we see here in the next few moments. Obviously, you mentioned Billy Jack Links being named as a potential connection to this case. That could be a potential suspect or some unnamed person that hasn't been put in the forefront to this point, but we'll pretty much have to find out here in these next few moments just who those people are. And I'm hearing that they're starting to go into there, and let's go ahead and toss to the press conference.
All right, let's listen in now as we await for the ALMA Police Department to step to the podium. It is beyond 10:30, and we expect to hear from them again. What's being called a significant development in this ongoing case. You see a family, there is Morgan's mother and other family members walking into this room where this announcement and this significant development will be shared. Again, if you're watching it here, perhaps you're about to walk out of your home, you don't want to miss any of this. We are streaming this live on our app, online as well, knwa.com. Again, we do believe it's ALMA PD that will be leading this discussion. Here we go.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to thank you all for joining us today. My name is Jeff Warner, and I'm the chief of the ALMA Police Department. We called you here today to report a significant development in the investigation of the 1995 kidnapping of Morgan Nick. You'll recall that Morgan was kidnapped from a parking lot of the ALMA Little League ball field, just about a block away from here, around 10:45 p.m. on June the 9th, 1995. A suspect description was provided, as was a description of a red truck with a white camper shell that was allegedly involved. Since then, we, along with allied local, state, and federal law enforcement officials, have spent thousands of hours working more than 10,000 leads in this case. One of the early persons of interest in this case was Billy Jack Links. Links was arrested for sexual solicitation of a child on August 29th, 1995 in Van Buren, Arkansas. On that occasion, Links tried to lure an 11-year-old girl into his red pickup truck. This was roughly 12 weeks after Morgan's disappearance. Police questioned Links on August 31st, 1995. He denied any knowledge of Morgan's abduction and at that time appeared to be truthful. Investigators at that time moved on. In July 2019, then ALMA Police Department Lieutenant Brett Hartley decided to go back to the beginning of this case to review the case from the beginning. During that process, Lieutenant Hartley spoke with an individual who provided information inspiring him to revisit the possibility that Billy Jack Links might be Morgan's abductor. Investigators worked to locate the truck Links owned in 1995, and we were able to contact the current owner of that truck. We determined that the owner had no knowledge of Links. He gave permission for us to examine the truck for evidence at that time. To that end, investigators arranged for the FBI evidence response team to examine the truck, and they did so on July the 28th, 2020. Among the collection methods the team used was that of vacuuming various locations within the vehicle. In doing so, they produced several vacuum canisters containing various forms of matter, including hair, from the vehicle. Upon completion of the collection process, the FBI retained custody of the evidence. In July 2023, Detective Sean Taylor with the ALMA Police Department learned of advanced analysis processes that's available at Ortham Laboratory, which is based in Texas. Detective Taylor conferred with a representative of the lab and learned, among other things, they had been successful in developing DNA profiles from hair with or without roots. On September 11, 2023, Detective Taylor conferred with an FBI agent to discuss the possibility of sending this trace evidence to Ortham Labs. On September 27, 2023, Detective Taylor received a package containing this evidence from the FBI, which was originally from the red truck. On December 1st, 2023, Detective Taylor sent this evidence to Ortham Laboratory for testing. And it's at that time that I wish to express my sincere thanks to the Arkansas State Police for providing the funding that was necessary to perform this analysis. On September 27, 2024, Ortham Laboratory sent a report to Detective Taylor stating in essence that they determined that the hair contained in the evidence that was submitted for analysis was that of Colleen Nick, one of her siblings or one of her children. We spent the next few days doing follow-up interviews with members of the Nick family, which revealed that none of them knew Billy Jack Links and that none of them had been in a truck that was similar to this one. The bottom line in this is that the physical evidence collected from the truck that Links owned when Morgan was abducted strongly indicates that Morgan had been in this truck. Billy Jack Links died in the year 2000. I think the most important thing here is Morgan is still missing. But we've reached a point where we can concentrate on one suspect to determine the circumstances surrounding Morgan's abduction. How was she taken from the ball field? What happened next? Did Links have help in abducting Morgan or concealing his crime all these years? And where is Morgan now? I can tell you today that this investigation is not over. It is ongoing and active. In the wake of this development, we're working to expand our understanding of Links and his activities. This includes, for example, additional interviews and re-interviews of known associates, and locating any additional physical evidence. This is where we need your help. We ask that every member of the public who might have information that can help answer these questions contact us at 1-800-THE-LOST, which is the number for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It's 1-800-843-5678. This time we will take a few questions.
Chief, what's the next step on this? And I guess what other information are you still investigating, or is there other evidence that you're still investigating at this point?
Well, like I explained, we want to go back and see if there's any more evidence that can be located. Our next step is refocusing on Mr. Links, his activities, and any unknown associates of his at that time.
Have you checked his old house in Van Buren?
There's been some investigations that have been done there, yes.
Is Billy Jack Links being declared as an actual suspect?
As of today, for the first time that I'm aware of in this case, I am calling Billy Jack Links a suspect in Morgan's abduction.
And as of right now, he's the only person, correct?
He is.
Talk about
Two things. Nearly 30 years later, that's incredible that you've been able to have this evidence analyzed. Talk about that for me.
Well, you know, I'm not going to stand here and try to answer scientific questions because I don't understand them. The fact is, you know, a laboratory that does this kind of testing has confirmed that this evidence was located in the truck. You know, it took them a while to get some results, just because you just said it's been almost 30 years, and so the fact that the evidence was degraded, so that it did take some time to provide those results.
And then Lee still has family in this area, in this region today. Have they been cooperative?
The family that we have talked to has been cooperative, yes.
How confident are you that this is going to lead to her whereabouts?
I can't answer that right now. We hope that that's the end result, to be able to bring Morgan home.
You mentioned looking at whether he acted alone. Are there any indications that he didn't act alone, or you know, how are you looking into those things?
Well, you know, there's still, as I mentioned, it's still active and ongoing. You know, we don't know if he acted alone or if he had someone with him. Those are some things that we want to go back and try to find out just by mainly interviews and re-examining some of the evidence.
Is there anything that's pointed to that possibility?
As of right now, we have no indication of that, but again, that's something that I can't answer for sure right now.
Are there any more? I'm trying to refresh my memory. Bringing up to speed, I believe it was reported that some people reported a possible red truck, possibly this person in the Kidler area at a river access location. Is that any more information with that? Am I correct when I said that? Not long after the disappearance, or matching his description in that truck there?
Yes, there was, you know, if you guys remember, as I know most of you do, there was a lot of reports of this red truck at various locations around that time.
Do you believe that's founded, that report that you received about that truck at that location?
We believe that several of the locations has been confirmed.
Do you know how many hands this truck has been passed over, or has it just been a direct sale to the last person?
It has had a few owners in between.
And are those like recorded sales, or is that cash on the table type?
No, it's recorded sales.
Did you say you only found one piece of hair, or were there multiple?
It's my understanding there was multiple hairs found, but there was one of them that these results came from.
And has the hair been tested before and now retested?
I can't answer that for sure, but it's my understanding that this hair has never been tested.
As of now, has anyone come forward with additional information about links that maybe said, told me about this? Has anybody else, I know we put this out there, last year, a couple years ago, asking for information about links. Between now and then, has anybody come forward with more information specifically about that? We
have gotten some information on links, but it's not the answer we need. You know, all the information that we've received has been very helpful to this point, but we need more, and that's the purpose of this conference today.
What kind of information are you looking for? Someone knew him or was in this area?
You know, someone that knew him, maybe a witness that has never said anything, maybe someone that he told something to that has never told anyone.
Chief, prior to the arrest in Van Buren, did he have a criminal record in his past?
Yes, he did.
Was it extensive?
Not to my knowledge. I know he had a previous arrest here in Crawford County a few years prior.
I know you looked at him extensively. Could you just simply tell us about links when he lived in this area briefly about him? might even know, and I don't know, tell me about it.
Well, he links us from Crawford County. He had retired from the Texas area and moved to Crawford County, and I'm not sure of those dates, but like I said, he was retired. He was, so he was around this area, had some family around this area. Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah, he lived here for some time. How long? I don't know. I'm just trying to find out more about who this person was. I don't know what his profession was. How long was he here? Just generally, who might have known him? Who did he hang out with? Tell us about him.
It's my understanding, and again, I don't have those dates in front of me right now, but he had lived in the Crawford County area for several years, and it's to my knowledge that he was retired.
What was his age at the time of death?
His age at that time would have been, I believe, 72 years old.
Now that he's passed, does this open a whole portfolio on him of looking into his past and other databases to see any, leads to this, or just looking into his past, helping this investigation?
Yes, we're looking into his past. We're hoping that someone has the missing puzzle that we need that can come forward.
We know that he did a attempted kidnapping. Have we talked to that family just to see if he mentioned anything of where they would take her, or any leads of where they would?
Yes, that investigation has been looked at.
Okay.
Moving forward, what kind of law enforcement presence will be dedicated to this case?
Well, obviously, we have someone that's dedicated to this case. ALMA's a small department, but some of us multitask, but we do have an investigator that's dedicated to this case. We have a part-time investigator that's dedicated to this case and this case only. We have good allies with the local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies that has offered any assistance that we need.
Is it safe to say this is the most significant breakthrough we've had in 21 years?
In my opinion, yes.
And just for clarification, it's just that you have Morgan Nix associated with the truck and with Lynch, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Lynch had, you don't have any evidence that Lynch actually did something true. Is that right?
That is correct. We believe strongly that Morgan was in this truck.
Has the LEO or any officials have they searched Lynch's property?
There have been some searches done in the past, yes.
Anything that links him to that ballpark in the past or that particular evening?
Not to my knowledge, other than some sightings of a similar pickup, if not the truck, in the area.
Okay, one last question, please.
Was there any other evidence found inside that truck that ties Morgan to the truck other than the hair?
I can't answer that right now because I'm honestly not sure what all evidence was collected out of that truck. It was processed by the FBI evidence response team. We were present for that, but there was some evidence that was tested by the FBI, and so some of that is that I don't know.
Chief, I see you're joining state police, local prosecutor, FBI. This is everybody who's actively assisting with this. Is that correct? Did I miss anybody?
No, as I mentioned, the state police was a big help in funding this testing. So they're here with us today as assisting us and have offered their resources for us.
Would any members like to talk?
Not at this time. I'm going to turn it over to Colleen that wants to say something.
There have been an army of supporters and advocates and heroes who have rallied to uncover the truth about Morgan's disappearance, and you see those people here in this room today. And what I have to say about Billy Jack Links is that he stole Morgan from me. He stole her from her dad. He stole her from Logan and Taryn. But he didn't see that he could never win. Because our love for Morgan, her memory and her voice outlasted his life. And that love continues to shine. Her heart, Morgan's heart, shines on.
Again, we appreciate you guys being here today. Any media questions are going to be routed to the Arkansas State Police Public Information Officer. Again, thank you.
All right, you've been listening to, that was Chief Pointer with the ALMA PD, and emotional words there. You just heard from Morgan's mother, Colleen. Basically, just to say what she said, she couldn't have said it any better. He stole, talking about Billy Jack Links, he stole Morgan from her and her dad and the entire family, but he could never win. Her memory and our voice outlasted his life. Again, talking about Billy Jack Links, now they consider their #1 suspect in this case, dating back over 29 years. He was in jail for prison for another attempted abduction. He died in prison in 2020. That doesn't close the book on this case. As you heard the chief say, they've got a detective that is dedicated to this case and another part-time detective dedicated to this case. They still have so many questions they want answered as, you know, how this happened. Basically, also where she is. That's the biggest thing. They want to bring her home. And did Links have any help 29 years ago then or in covering this up in the years that followed? Those are things they will continue pursuing. And of course, the biggest development that you heard, this is that significant development they spoke of, is re-examining hair that was found in that truck. They used a lab out of Texas, and they were basically able to rebuild a DNA profile. And from that, they were able to determine that hair came from the Nick family. No other family member was anywhere had said, I've never been in that truck. So that leads them to believe Morgan was without a doubt in that truck, in Billy Jack Links' truck. And you heard a reporter did ask, does that put Billy Jack as, you know, with Morgan? And he goes, no, not necessarily, but that's why he's their #1 suspect, though, that they do feel strongly Morgan was in Billy Jack Links' truck 29 years ago. So that is certainly held true to its word, a significant development that this DNA profile established that Morgan perhaps or actually was in that truck. They're going to continue pursuing this case. Obviously, this brings some closure to the Nick family. But even just for those short moments that Morgan's mother was on that stand, you could hear it. You felt her pain. That Billy Jack Links, she said, he can never win, and he's not going to win because the police don't plan on dropping this case anytime soon, and the search for these answers will continue on. All right. Well, again, we will have much more coverage on this. If you missed any of our coverage here on air, we will, of course, have a full recap of it online, knwa.com, also on our app. And the very latest coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10. We've got team coverage down there. Gabriella Phelan, along with Casey Smith. They are working this from multiple angles, and we'll have that for you on air and online. We'll see you back.